Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission here is always the same, really. We take your sources, articles, research, even your own notes, and we extract the nuanced core.
Right.
And then we hand you the knowledge that makes you truly well-informed and fast. The goal is always insight over information overload.
hmm
So today, we're focusing on a bit of a different kind of source material.
Yeah, it's not an article this time.
No, we're actually diving deep into the lexicon itself. I guess you could call it the architecture of description. We're looking at three really specific, potent words, words that can describe, the personality of a room, the energy of a person, or the feeling of a place.
And these are not just synonyms. That's the key thing here. They are precision tools.
Exactly. Precision tools for elevated analysis. The three words that were pulled for this deep dive are Pulchritude, Halcyon, and Resplendent.
And these words, they just perfectly fit the profile of someone looking to gain knowledge quickly, but also, thoroughly. A dictionary definition only gets you halfway there.
Oh, not even.
Not even.
Mm.
If you don't understand let's call it the cultural weight and the context behind these terms, you miss all the power they convey. And frankly, we really need that deeper context for a word like halcyon.
Okay.
I mean, wait until we unpack that one. Its true meaning, it has nothing to do with just generic happiness. It comes from a specific myth about a bird that calms the winter seas.
Wow.
That's the kind of nugget we're digging for today.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start digging. We're starting with a word that, it just sounds weighty, doesn't it? It demands respect.
It does.
And that perfectly matches the intensity of the thing it describes. So, word number one is pulchritude.
Mhm.
That's spelled Pulchritude. We'll start simple.
Right.
It's a noun. It means physical beauty. But like you said, if that's all we say, we've missed the point entirely.
We've missed everything. What's fascinating here is how the source material helps us draw this really definitive line between just beauty and pulchritude.
Yeah.
The word beauty has, it's become diluted, let's be honest.
Oh, completely.
We apply it to 1,000 things.
Mm.
A beautiful idea, a beautiful sunset, a beautiful arrangement of spreadsheets,
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy compliment.
It's the ultimate verbal catch-all. It's lovely, but it's low resolution.
Low resolution, that's a great way to put it.
Right.
Precisely. Pulchritude, on the other hand, it comes from the Latin root, pulcher,
Pulcher. Okay.
meaning beautiful or fair.
Mm-hmm.
So it carries this classical formal weight. This word is exclusively reserved for breathtaking physical loveliness.
Breathtaking, yes.
The perfection of form, it's static, it's profound, and it's deeply formal. When you use a 5-syllable word like this, you're telling your audience that the beauty being described is so grand, so classically perfect, that a simpler word would just be a disrespectful understatement.
That immediately changes my expectation as a listener. If I hear someone talking about the pulchritude of a landscape, I'm mentally preparing for a description of something overwhelming, something with classical grandeur.
Yes.
It signals that the speaker is analyzing aesthetic quality, not just, offering a pleasant observation.
Exactly. It implies a certain degree of academic or even artistic reverence. Think of it this way. You might call a nice apartment pretty or charming,
Sure.
but the architecture of a Roman cathedral, with its soaring symmetry and its flawless design, that possesses pulchritude. It demands that elevated language.
That makes me wonder, though, if the word's formality demands scale. If it's about grandeur and classical perfection, is it only for massive things like canyons or buildings?
That's a really sharp question.
Or could you use it for something small, like, say, a single perfectly formed rose?
And our source material suggests that while it often describes the grand, the real key is the perfection of the form, not necessarily the size.
Oh, okay.
The formality demands that the form, whatever its scale, achieves an unquestionable ideal.
Yeah.
So if that single rose is, say, geometrically flawless,
Mm.
its petals positioned in perfect symmetry,
Then yes.
then yes, describing its singular pulchritude is absolutely appropriate. The word's weight just ensures that you're treating that small subject with the utmost seriousness.
So it's about the quality of the observation, not just the size of the thing observed. The concrete example we found really does lean into that grandeur, though. It says, the travelers were stunned by the natural pulchritude of the hidden valley.
And that works perfectly because it emphasizes the raw, overwhelming nature of that beauty. It wasn't just that the valley was nice to look at.
Yeah.
It was aesthetically perfect. It demanded stunned silence and a formal description. That's the power of pulchritude. It instantly sets a tone of high intellectual regard for the subject.
Okay, so pulchritude. The static, formal, breathtaking beauty of physical form. It's about the weight of the word matching the weight of the spectacle.
You've got it.
All right, moving on. We're turning to a word that describes atmosphere and memory and time itself. Halcyon. This one immediately sounds like a calm, golden afternoon.
It really does.
That's Halcyon. And the basic definition is an adjective describing a period of time in the past that was idyllically happy and peaceful.
And this is where the etymology gives us that absolute aha
Yeah.
moment we were talking about earlier. Everyone uses the phrase halcyon days, right? Referring to a time of tranquility. But the word halcyon literally means kingfisher. It's born from Greek mythology.
Kingfisher. How does a bird that, dives into rivers for fish end up symbolizing idyllic peace?
The story is wonderful. The Greeks believed that the halcyon bird, the kingfisher, nested on the sea during the winter solstice.
Okay, during the roughest time of year for the sea.
Exactly. So because the waters would be naturally rough and dangerous, Aeolus, the Greek god of the winds, sometimes it was Zeus, would specifically calm the winds and smooth the waves for 2 weeks, just so the bird's eggs could hatch safely.
Wow.
This specific, brief, and divinely mandated period of perfect calm became known as the Halcyon days, an idealized time of guaranteed tranquility surrounded by the storms of winter.
That completely changes the word's depth. It's not just happy times.
Not at all.
It's a specific, temporary period of guaranteed perfect peace, often surrounded by chaos. It explains why the word carries such a profound sense of longing.
Exactly. When someone refers to their halcyon days, they're invoking a time of total, almost mythical tranquility, a time when life felt uncomplicated, worries were absent, everything felt simple. It is inherently backward-looking.
So it's tied to memory and nostalgia.
Entirely.
This raises an interesting question, though, based on that myth. If the myth is about a specific, reliable period of calm, can we use halcyon to describe a future hope? A coming period of guaranteed peace? Or is it strictly bound to the past, like our source material implies?
That's a challenging thought.
Yeah.
And while the root, that guarantee of calm, could technically apply to the future, common usage, and all the context from our sources, they firmly anchor it in the past.
Okay.
The power of the word today is really in the contrast between present complexity and remembered simplicity. When we look back, we curate those memories, we polish them.
That's the Halcyon filter.
That's the Halcyon filter at work. We remember the sunnier moments, not the difficulties, and that allows that past time to achieve that idyllically happy status. You can't really create a halcyon moment now. You can only look back and declare a past moment was halcyon.
That distinction is incredibly useful. It captures that whole idealization process of memory. It's the difference between saying, I'm having a peaceful vacation, and then months later, reflecting on the halcyon days of that trip after work has returned and polished the edges of the memory.
That's precisely why the example from the source resonates so much. It says, he often looked back on the halcyon days of his youth, spent wandering the sun-drenched beaches.
It instantly transports you.
It does, not just to a location, but to a state of being. Freedom from adult decisions, filtered through that gold standard of memory.
So halcyon is the purest, most mythologically perfected form of peace, but specifically attached to a remembered, idealized past.
One describes something physically observed and perfectly formed, Pulchritude. The other describes something internally experienced, idealized, and recalled, Halcyon.
That brings us to our third word, which is all about spectacle and light. If Pulchritude is static perfection, this next word is dynamic performance. Resplendent. This one is Resplengent. It's an adjective meaning attractive and impressive through being richly colorful or shining. Just feels like the most active, energetic word of the three.
It absolutely is. The word itself comes from the Latin resplendere, which means to shine brightly. And this is where we get that visual aha moment for you.
Right.
We all know what nice or pretty looks like. But to be resplendent is to be overwhelming. It is beauty that is bold, bright, and genuinely impossible to ignore. It's glowing.
It's demanding your visual attention. It isn't waiting for you to find it. It's radiating energy and light directly at you.
And that distinction is vital. If something is merely beautiful, it might possess pulchritude. But if that object is designed to draw the eye, to sparkle, to overwhelm the senses with light and richness, then it is resplendent.
The adjective of dramatic display.
Yes. The comparisons in the source material are perfect illustrations of this. Think about a bride in a sparkling gown. The emphasis is on how the fabric catches the light and dazzles the crowd.
Right.
Or a peacock with its feathers spread. It's an active, overwhelming, colorful performance. Or a city skyline lit up at night. The sheer volume of light and richness just dominates the visual field.
I see the contrast perfectly now. Pulchritude might describe the perfect geometric structure of that skyline's architecture, but resplendent describes the way the glass and the light catch the darkness, that sensory overload.
Exactly. Resplendent is the word you use when the quality of being impressive is tied directly to visible richness and abundance. It's about display. It's about visible wealth, whether that wealth is color or light or texture. It signifies something that seems to be putting on a show for the viewer.
The example sentence really captures that feeling of colorful abundance. The garden was resplendent with spring flowers, showing off every shade of red, purple, and gold. That detail, every shade, it emphasizes the saturation and variety that makes it so unforgettable.
That's the key.
It suggests almost a struggle between the colors to be the most noticeable.
It's a saturation bomb.
Yeah.
And we connect this back to our whole analysis. Pulchritude is about formal structure, Halcyon is about emotional stillness, and Resplendent is about visual dynamism. When you use Resplendent, you're telling the listener that the scene is active, bold, and just gloriously overwhelming.
You know, this deep dive has fundamentally altered how I see these three words. They aren't just fancy vocabulary.
No.
They are precision instruments, each one designed for a highly specific type of observation. So let's wrap this up with a quick, structured recap. We want to make sure you have clear, immediately actionable takeaways from this.
Understanding the specific domain of each word is crucial for applying them.
Okay, first, pulchritude. Great physical beauty. Remember its formal, classical feel, rooted in Latin, and reserved for that breathtaking, static perfection of form. Second, Halcyon. Peaceful and happy. But this is specifically nostalgic, tied to an idealized, carefree period of the past, all defined by that Greek myth of the kingfisher bringing a temporary divine calm.
That perfect calm.
And finally, resplendent, shining, colorful, and impressive. This word describes bold, bright beauty that commands immediate attention, tied to a sense of dynamism and visual abundance.
By understanding and really utilizing words with this level of precision, you not only enhance your communication, you significantly sharpen your analytical lens.
Yeah.
You move past these generic descriptions and you start identifying the specific nuanced qualities, the formality, the nostalgic piece, or the dynamic glow that truly define the world around you. And this elevates both your thought and your expression.
Absolutely. When you deploy words with this kind of intellectual heft, your thoughts become clearer and your descriptions, they just stick with the listener for far longer. So here is the final challenge to carry with you as you finish this deep dive, something to push you toward true mastery. Take one complex scene today, maybe a busy morning market or a grand civic building, and try to describe it using the nuanced definitions of all three words.
No, it's a great exercise.
What is its pulchritude? Its perfect, static form. What feeling of Halcyon, of past simple peace does it evoke or maybe contrast with? And what single element is truly resplendent, bold, shining, and demanding attention? See how that focus forces you to observe the world not just as a viewer, but as an analyst.